I wanted to talk about how do I enter a given trade using Cipher script. And before I start, I just have to talk about three price action movements. Price move in different trends. Price either moves upwards, downwards, or consolidate. This is the three basic price action movement. It's either going upwards, downwards, or consolidate. And the hardest of it all is when price consolidate. It's very hard to trade when we are in the area of consolidation, because you can't really tell either price is going upwards or down, because price is either heading this way, downwards, downwards, down. There's not a massive decision of price. In other words, price has never or either not shown whether he's heading towards the upward territories or it's either heading towards the downward territory. So it's very hard to trade when we are in the area of consolidation. And I even tried doing it right now, I think an hour ago. And on weekends, I don't know, for BTC, it's way different for me. When we're on weekends, price is not really that predictable, and we consolidated around this place. Price has been consolidating around this area, and it's hard to determine the next movement of price. It's either going downwards or are we just going upwards. So how do I use market cipher script to determine my movements? Like I said, trading has always been a direction, and you trade in direction. We don't trade on spot or signal. These are just your road signs, as I indicated earlier on. These are basically your road signs. These elements are basically your road signs, and they are not enough for me to decide my trading, or they are not enough signals that influence my trading decisions. What influence my trading decisions are primarily my oscillators or my Google Maps. You understand? So Google Maps are real-time empirical data, which I can literally make my trading decisions on these Google Maps. These are just road signs. I'm not saying road signs are not good, they are healthy, but again, if I have my Google Map, I can use it as my primary point of reference in terms of determining my direction of trade. Like I said, trading is either upwards, downwards, or consolidation, and we are in a region of consolidation. And how do I determine my direction and probably make my trades in accordance to the given direction? And this is whereby market cipher simplifies it for me. So I was like, you don't really trade every day, you trade by planning. Most people think you have to trade every day. You don't trade every day. You, especially on weekends, like I said, you have to wait for the market to come to you. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be in a hurry. I was in a hurry today. I wouldn't lie. I saw a little bit spike upwards. I thought it was the best time to trade, and I was like, when I entered the market, it was heading toward upwards, and I was like, oh, no, 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 it's going back downwards. I tried to short. It looked as if it was going upwards. It was like the indecisions of these price action movements. I just had to just cancel off, like, hey, I made a loss, let me just log out and wait for the market to come to me. So I was like, well, let me make a video that I can tell people or let people know when to enter a given trade and when not to enter a trade. As a typical example as this side, when we are in the area of consolidation, it's very hard to trade. It's very hard to decide where the market is heading towards. So it's like price is neither not going upwards, neither is it going downwards. So what do I do? How do I enter a given trade? So basically, this is what I'll do. I will navigate towards the higher time frame first to see the overall direction. These are my higher time frames. Higher time frames are like your environmental time frame. So I'll basically use my vertical line here as a directional line to determine the overall direction. So you realize that right now, momentum wave, which is essentially the most influential wave in your Google map, is heading towards the downward region, and money flow, which is my liquid, seems to be, I don't know, but it's still in the positive, so I might assume it's still trying to be in the positive. So, and my VWAP, which is my table, is now in the negatives, but we don't know whether it will still be in the positive. So overall, this is not enough for me to decide my trading decision. Like, this is not enough. I need to either navigate towards lower time frames for enough data. So I go back to lower time frames. Then the direction changes right now. You can realize that momentum seems to be heading down, or my engine seems to be heading downwards, and my money flow or my liquid is still lingering around the positive territories, but it's not enough movement here. VWAP is still in the negative territories, and so this is not enough for me to decide my trading decision. So I have to go to the another time frame, 2 hour time frame, to see the overall direction. Again, you can realize that we registered a red dot here, which is a bearish signal, and it's like momentum is losing impact. You can realize that it looks like an escarpment is heading towards the negative territories. But how do I know it's either heading towards the negative territory? Sorry, I have to head back to the 1 hour time to determine the overall movement. Then I could realize that money flow is still in the green. It's still in a positive territories. Sorry, it's still in a positive territories. VWAP seems to be heading towards upwards, but again, momentum is downwards a little bit. Overall, we are still consolidating here because this is not a healthy trading. It's not really. I wouldn't advise anybody to trade right now because there is a bearish signal here, bearish diamond here, meaning we are still bearish, and price is still in the area of consolidation. Because again, this is very hard to trade. I wouldn't lie, this is very hard to determine your direction. Is you either set your levels for price to hit your levels and make your trading decisions, and you can realize that price is still, I wouldn't say price is heading downwards or upwards, because we are still in the area of consolidation. I would prefer seeing a move downwards here, then I'll peg my trading decisions, meaning that we probably might head downwards a little bit, then I can go all in if I want to. But for now, I'll just hold on. Again, like I said, you don't have to rush with your trade. You don't have to be trading every day. You, especially on weekends, you have to wait for the market to hit your level. So how do I determine the market to hit my levels? By setting my levels or my entries after the consolidation I've probably exhausted it, because we are still heading either downwards or upwards. But how would I know? I still have to wait and set my levels. So overall, you could realize that even though price seems to be heading upwards here, but there's not enough confirmation, because my momentum seems to be, it seems to be still bearish, even though it looks bullish on other time frames, but it's weakening. It's still weakening. There is not enough juice to support my trading decisions, because I need enough confirmations with these oscillators. And we still, it's too weak. When I say it's too weak, you could realize that price is still in consolidation here. Price is not really, I mean, overall, I wouldn't say it's a bad time to trade, but it's not a perfect time to trade. Or you need enough data to trade. So you need enough confirmations to trade, whereby you could see majority of your influential oscillators either in the positive regions or in the negative regions. Right now, they are either in the positives and they are also in the negatives. So how would I trade? You understand? Like, it's not enough for me to base my trading decisions on just the imbalances of price action movements. It's like, are we in a positive today or are we in a negative today? And this is a typical reflection of consolidation. It's always trying to play with your mind. Let's go up. Okay, when you try going up, then it goes down. Let's go down. When you try going down, it goes up. It's like consolidation means it's downwards, upward, downward. That's why you can realize that price is moving that way. Price has not really established an absolute movement. So a consolidation means upward, up, downward, upward, downwards, upward, downwards, upward, downwards, upward, downwards. So until we see a massive spike, we cannot really go all in. And again, people are trading in these areas, and again, I'm not saying you can't trade, but again, if you're an amateur, not really an amateur, but sometimes you just have to wait for price to hit your levels, then you trade overall. But I wouldn't advise anybody to trade in an area where price seems to be not really hasn't determined its direction, because we need direction to trade. So should in case we see a massive movement, then we start trading in accordance to that movement. Then we see probably a massive downward movement, then we trade. But when we see consolidation like this, it's hard because price is not neither upwards nor downwards. It's just like, it's just moving upwards and downwards, but that's not really a massive movement or direction. Like I said, trading is all about direction, so we need to establish direction before we trade. So overall, I wouldn't say you cannot trade here, but I need enough confirmations from my oscillators before I can trade. So I just wanted to highlight how consolidation works, and especially it happens on weekends. And this is my normal observation, and I think overall, I don't have much to say. I just wanted to highlight what I saw today and just help anyone who is trying to trade not to really rush, just wait for a perfect time to enter a trade. And yeah, until then, have a nice time. Good day.